Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue sur Irwin's French Class. Aujourd'hui, dans cette vidéo, nous allons parler d'un point de grammaire super important en français, le complément d'objet direct, or direct object complement in English. It is super important to understand that grammar point in French because it has an impact on so many other grammatical aspects, such as the COD pronouns and some rules of agreement. After covering everything you need to know about COD, that's the acronym we use in French, we will do some fun activities to revise and practice. C'est parti. A direct object is a type of complement, often a noun or a nominal group, either person or thing, that directly completes the verb. There are several types of complement necessary to complete the meaning of the verb. Please consider this simple sentence. In this sentence, there is a complement of time related to the timeline of the action, 9 heures. There is also a complement of place, la gare. Note that these complements are both introduced by à 9 heures, à la gare, which is a preposition. And lastly, there is a direct object complement that directly completes the verb without the go-between of a preposition. And this direct object is le bus. The way you can identify these complements, time, place, and COD, is by asking questions. Ask the question when, or quand in French, along with the subject and the verb of the sentence. So the question will be, j'ai pris le bus quand? Well, the answer is à 9 heures. 9 heures is the complement of time. To identify the complement of place, ask the question where, où in French, and the question will be, j'ai pris le bus où? The answer is à la gare. La gare is your complement of place. And finally, to identify the direct object complement, you need to ask the question what or quoi in French for things, right? The question will be j'ai pris quoi? And the answer is le bus, which is therefore the COD. But we said at the beginning of this video that COD could also be people. For example, if you consider that sentence, you can repeat it after me. Je connais Zinedine Zidane. I wish it was true. To identify the COD for people, ask the question qui, whom. And the question would be je connais qui? Zizou is the answer. So Zizou in here is the COD. In grammar, verbs allowing the use of direct objects are called transitive direct. So transitif direct en français. The difficulty for you guys, especially if English is one of your dominant languages, is that the translation of a transitive direct verb in French is not necessarily transitive direct in English and vice versa. So let me explain. Prendre, which is the verb of the first sentence that we used to explain the COD, right? So the sentence was j'ai pris le bus. Prendre, to take, is transitive direct in both languages. Prendre quelque chose, to take something, it's direct. However, écouter is transitive direct in French. For example, j'écoute la radio, whereas in English, the verb is not transitive direct. Okay, there is a preposition if you translate that sentence. I'm listening to the radio. So that to changes everything. Okay, so that's a preposition. So the verb in English is transitive indirect. Same goes for attendre, that is direct in French. J'attends Pierre. I'm waiting for Pierre. And you see that in English it's indirect because of that for that changes everything. So that's a preposition. In French, there is no preposition. Okay? J'attends Pierre, it's direct. To phone someone is direct in English, but indirect in French. Je téléphone à mon père. And that preposition à makes it indirect. All right, let's do an activity to revise and practice. I'm going to give you several sentences and we are going to do together some grammatical analysis, which is something we start doing in primary schools in France. So essentially, identify the complements. Here are the sentences. The first one is, you can repeat that after me. Mardi, il va voir un match de foot à Marseille. So in that sentence, you have a complement of time, a complement of place, and an COD. Complement of time is mardi, that's right. Place is Marseille, of course. And the COD is il va voir quoi? What is he going to see or to watch? Un match de foot. So that's your COD. Sentence number 2. Maintenant, ils font leurs devoirs. So in that sentence, you have a complement of time, which is maintenant. Okay, that's the timeline of the action. Maintenant. Ils font quoi? Leurs devoirs. And that's the COD. Numéro 3. Le soir, elle mange des fruits. Complement of time and COD. Again, complement of time, le soir, that's right, that's the timeline of the action. Elle mange quoi? Des fruits, that's direct, it's your direct object complement. Numéro 4. Je lis un roman avant de dormir. Je lis quoi? Un roman, that's your COD, that's right. Avant de dormir, what is that? Complement of time, that's right. Numéro 5, tu veux une part de gâteau après le dîner? So, time and COD, time, après le dîner, that's right. COD is, tu veux quoi? Une part de gâteau. Une part de gâteau is your COD. You see, it's quite simple in fact. 6. En classe, nous écoutons le prof. En classe, complement of place, that's right. Nous écoutons qui? Le prof. Okay, le prof is COD. Don't forget COD, it's object, but that can be people, all right? So that's your direct object complement. Nous écoutons le prof. And that would be indirect in English, by the way. We are listening to the teacher. All right? Be careful with the translations. That's the tricky bit. Numéro 7. J'ai une moto depuis 2021. Depuis 2021, that's the time, okay? Complément de temps, complement of time. J'ai quoi? Une moto, and that's your COD. All right? 8. En France, on parle français. Where do we speak French? In France. Place, complement of place. En France, complément de lieu. Okay, in French, it's like that. Place, lieu. On parle quoi? Français, and that's your COD. Voilà les amis, c'est tout pour cette vidéo. I hope that the concept of COD is clear for you now. It's really important to understand that concept as there are so many implications in French, starting with the COD pronoun that we are going to cover in the next video. Please write in the comments a sentence including a COD and n'oubliez pas de mettre un pouce bleu à la vidéo et de vous abonner. À bientôt, à plus, ciao.